Hello, good morning for everyone that is joining me today. Happy New Year's Eve. Very exciting stuff happening right now. And today is the last day of my 3-day training on showing up. Good morning, Vera. Um, and we're going to go over a lot of really great things today, and it's a perfect way to close out 2018 and step into tomorrow, 2019, with just a really good vision and idea of the direction you want to move into. And of course, having the relationship of that to showing up and what does that mean. So you need to have a vision of where you want to move in order to begin moving in that direction and showing up for yourself in a way that you're taking responsible action to move towards your dreams. So I'll just go over quickly what we've been covering the past couple of days. So on not Monday, 2 days ago, that's just easier, a little lost in time. Saturday, it was Saturday. So on Saturday, we went over what is showing up and what does that mean. And for me, showing up means to take responsible action for myself and like feeding my soul, whatever that means to me. So for that, that is healthy foods and just living this like very authentic lifestyle. And then we talked about internal and external factors and influences on showing up and what does that mean. So the internal, of course, is like in your body and spirit, and then the external are things that are happening on the outside and the relationship to showing up with these factors. So if you are able to have a more balanced internal than the external factors, and you being able to show up on the physical plane will be more sustainable and more effective, right? Because you have a much more balanced perspective. You have you're just in a better mindset, a positive mindset. So mindset and perspective is everything. And then we talked a little bit about self-care practices, and that was yesterday, day 2. So self-care practices and what self-care has to do with showing up in my personal self-care practices. And when I'm showing up for myself, what does that look like? What am I doing for myself actively? And when I'm not doing that, like how does that change? And it changes my internal. So if I'm eating like really crappy food, if I'm not moving my body, if I'm not having really like nourishing relationships with people, then that is not caring for myself, and that is going to influence my internal, my emotions, my feelings, like my mood, my perspective, and then that like from me not showing up for myself and the self-care is going to make all the external things really challenging. So we went over that yesterday, and then I talked a little bit about self-care and worthiness, right? And like showing up in worthiness. So if you are showing up for yourself, then your worthiness goes up tenfold, right? So like you are demanding, you're treating yourself with the highest amount of respect and love, and therefore you're calling in the highest amount of respect and love from other people. And you're increasing your self-worth. So when you put that out there, when you have that sort of resignation with yourself and with your own heart, then you're putting it out there for everybody else to feel, and everybody else, hi Elizabeth, everybody else is treating you as such. Like they see the worth that you have for yourself, and then therefore they will treat you like that. If you treat yourself with respect, right? If you treat yourself like crap, then you probably are that's going to reflect in your personal relationships, just in everything. Like if you're eating crap, if you're not caring for yourself in that way, then you're going to get that back. And that is going to appear on the physical plane in your external life. So the last thing that we went over yesterday were SMART goals. And so I had you at the beginning, the first day, go over just different objectives that you're working on in your life, different areas of your life that you have areas of improvement. And then yesterday we worked on creating goals around those. So SMART goals, as we talked about, are specific, measurable, attainable, they are relevant, and they are time sensitive. So I asked you all to, with your daily, the things that you're working on, to make those SMART goals. And so it's easier for you to take action and to begin showing up, because you have a better grip, grasp. You have both a better grip and a better grasp of what you need to be doing to move in that direction. So beginning to show up for yourself. So I'm really excited for today. Today is going to be short and sweet. We are going to do a little bit of envisioning, but before we do that, I just wanted to go over a few tips and tricks that I have, some things that are working for me in order to show up for myself. And don't get me wrong, it's not easy. Like, trust me when I say, a lot of people think that me in this space, like as a holistic coach and as a life coach, a spiritual coach, that like I'm perfect and that this stuff is like in nature and that it comes easy, and it's not. I have a lot of opportunity to improve as well. There's always space to improve, and I'm still working on it. So I say these things, and take them, please, and see what works for you and try it out. If it doesn't work for you, if it doesn't resonate, that's fine. It's not all going to fit you. So you have to it's like trying on clothes, right? Like, you see if this works for you, you see if it resonates. If it doesn't, try something else. But I'm going to go over the tools that work for me when I'm showing up for myself in a higher vibration and a higher level. So the first one, which while I was in Costa Rica, I was living in Costa Rica, while I was in Costa Rica, that was when my transformation sort of happened. I lived in the jungle by myself. I was serving in the Peace Corps, and I was living in a town of 200 people, and that was the first time in my life that I really had to, that I was gifted the space for self-discovery and silence. And I started learning all of these practices and learning the value of showing up. What does that mean? I started learning that as I was in Costa Rica. So I began these practices, and they work for me. So while I was in Costa Rica, even before then, I started journaling. It was more of while I was traveling, I would start to journal. And before, my journaling practices maybe were not the most high vibration, let's say that. And one day I was listening to a podcast, lo and behold, I love podcasts. And in this podcast, it was talking about how basically to be honest, it was Yoga Girl's podcast. So kind of basic, but I love her. She has a very raw, real perspective. And in her podcast, she was talking about how in all of her journals, basically they're love letters to herself. And that struck a chord. I thought that was so beautiful, and that admittedly wasn't necessarily how I was using my journaling experience. And since then on, I decided to change that. Exactly, kind of going back to my worthiness, right? Maybe my self-worth I had a low self-worth, and then I began starting to shift that, especially while I was living abroad by myself. So as that shift began to happen, I started taking, honestly, I'm probably maybe going to burn that terrible journal where I just didn't have this sort of self-worth or value. And I began to shift that. So in my journaling practices and my journaling techniques, I really started to write beautiful love letters for myself, and just say and have a high value and a high regard for myself. And so I really encourage you to do that. That's one of my tools that I use in order to show up for myself more. Hi, Alicia. Another one that I do, and when I'm really consistent, it serves me greatly. And it's really interesting because if you're interested in dreaming, I would encourage this. So I start meditating. I try to meditate. If I'm being really great and honoring myself, then it's a daily practice. Again, like I said, I'm not perfect. But going back to the dream thing, if you are meditating before bed, I have found if when I meditate before bed, my dreams get very, very vivid, which is cool. So you can kind of start to work with that and have some fun with that. That's another trick, or keep stumbling over my words. That's another trick that I recommend in order for you to show up for yourself. Again, try it on, see if it works. If it does, please go for it. Let me know, give me feedback. Another one would be self-care routines. So with that, my personal routines, like I have talked about before, have been regular physical activity, eating really well, and that really helps me to continue to show up and to continue to be my higher self. When those things are out of whack, the people who are close to me, the people who know me best, know that those things are out of whack. They can tell I have a very strong energy. People observe it immediately and are like, "Hey, like, are you okay? Or what's going on?" And so yeah, just be very conscious of that and see, like, maybe do some sort of detox come tomorrow or whatever. Come the new year, do a little detox. Maybe incorporate one more salad into your day, right? So maybe you can switch out like a sandwich and put a salad in and see how that works for you. See if that makes you feel better. And trust me, it will. There's going to be a time, kind of a period of transition that you're going to pass through, which I have myself, but you are going to, your gut microbiome, the good bacteria in your stomach are used to feeding and thriving off of whatever your current diet is. And so when you begin to change that, there's a period of transition, as in anything in life. And it's going to be a little weird. It's gonna not really taste that great. You're not gonna really feel that fulfilled. However, if you keep on it for 3 weeks, then in that 3-week sweet spot, the gut microbiome begins to change. And so your body is going to begin craving more of these fruits and veggies. And yeah, that's gonna change you from the inside out. It creates vitality, it creates energy, you're getting such a variety of nutrients. I could go on about this forever, but the lesson here with food is that is a huge tool for me in order for me to show up for myself like on a higher level. Another one would be, honestly, honoring my energy and honoring like what my heart desires in that moment. I am a people pleaser. I do so many things in life because I want everyone else like to be happy and to be satisfied. And honestly, that doesn't work for me most of the time because I'm not doing it for myself. I'm doing it because somebody else wants me to do it or because it resonates with somebody else. And that's debilitating on your own energy and your own authenticity. So please, like, honor that and honor your own feelings. Like, yes, there are some instances where, okay, maybe you need to sacrifice a little bit, but please, like, if you want to say no, say no. And maybe take that into tonight, right? So take that, hi Andrew, take that into tonight. And if you want to say no to a drink at New Year's, like, don't feel obligated to do that because that's not showing up for yourself on like your highest level and at your essence. So I just invite you to kind of test that out tonight and see how it feels. And if it feels great, fantastic. And if it feels weird, like, or if your head starts to, you have this like mental dialogue start happening, observe that and be like, what is this mental chatter going on? Like, where is this coming from? Why am I like that worried what everybody else thinks if I say no to a drink, right? It's like, and then it comes in the expectations and these external expectations versus internal, and like everything it all flows together. That's why it's so important, please, to like honor yourself, and that means showing up for yourself. Another thing that I love to do personally is doing solo missions. I called it solo missions. I am very extroverted, I would say. And I love to be by myself at the same time. Like, I love to be with people. I love to socialize. I love to bring people up. I love to give, be in that circle and like really positive, surrounded by good people with good energy. And I love to be by myself, right? And this is especially when like I am feeling low in energy or I just can't serve people like at a place that is really working for me. And I know in my heart that I just need my alone time so I can recharge my batteries and like be there for other people in a fuller space and a fuller capacity. So see if that works for you too. I really encourage you to try it out, see how the solo missions work. And if you think that it's a little weird or awkward, that's fine. Like, I started these solo missions probably 3 or 4 years ago. And when I began them, it was weird. It was really and it was funny for me to observe myself. And like, I would go out to dinner or out to lunch or I'd go on a hike. I would go on a hike by myself. And people would ask me like, "Oh, Katie, that's great. Like, who are you going with?" And I would be like, "No, I'm just going by myself." And I would get a really weird reaction from somebody else. And it was kind of hard to just be by myself and put the distractions away. But trust me, like, once you get to that stage where you are by yourself and you are getting to know yourself on a more personal level, like, you will become your best friend. And that is so, so, so beautiful. So explore the solo missions. Another one, as I said, was just challenging my body, physical exercise. So I love to be really active, and I love to do really, physically demanding activities because for me, I feel closest to my source. So whether that is for you, like whatever, God, divine, this is a whole nother topic that I will get into in a future date. But I feel like closest to myself, which for me is my own source of energy, than anything else when I'm pushing my body and like this mental chatter is happening and I'm able to kind of create this hard mind and just mental stamina is what I like to call it. That's where the mental stamina comes in, is like putting your physical self to the test. And then another last trick that I have in order to show up for myself, I pray. Like, I pray, I say it, I get it out there. I notice that a lot of times when I don't want to pray, it's because I know this shit, it's real. Like, this is really real. And if I say it out loud, then it's going to come true. I know that it is. I've had the experience, and it means, again, saying it out loud means a lot of like responsibility that surrounds that. So those are a few of my techniques. Test them out, see if it works for you. Again, journaling, meditating, nice self-care routines, respecting my own desires and saying no, challenging physical activities, solo missions, and praying. So see if any of those 7 work and let me know how it goes for you. One last thing before we go is I just want you, if you can, where you are, if you're watching this now, fantastic, later, that's great. I want you to close your eyes. We're just going to do a quick guided visualization. So if you could just get still and get to a comfortable seated position with your feet on the ground and sit upright. Have your hands in a comfortable spot. And begin to close your eyes. And then begin to deepen your breath. And breathing in and out through your nose. And I want you to imagine your most epic life. Your most epic day. So starting with the morning, where are you? Where are you waking up? And who is waking up with you? What does your morning routine look like? Envision yourself embodying this morning routine. Again, your most epic self in this morning routine. Maybe it's drinking a couple glasses of water. Maybe it's sipping coffee, sitting outside in nature, whatever. Envision the most epic morning in your morning routine. So you go on your day, and what precedes? What comes next after this morning routine? What are the next actions that you take? What is the food that you eat? What is the resource of that food? Envision yourself cooking this food in your beautiful, beautiful kitchen. The kitchen of your dreams. Where is it? What's around? Again, who's there with you, helping you cook this beautiful meal? And then you eat this nourishing meal. What do you do after? Where are you? Do you go out? Do you see friends? Do you see people who lift you up, who elevate you? Do you elevate them? How are you elevating them? By this time, it's about 6 or 7 at night. What's your evening routine? What sorts of food are you nourishing your body with now? Again, winding down before you go to bed. What do you choose to allow space for in your evening before you drift off to your dreams? Do they give you energy and elevate? Do they resonate? And then after you finish this evening routine, you get back into bed and you say goodnight to everyone who's in your life of importance. And you give thanks for this beautiful life, infinite amounts of gratitude for your health and your wealth. And then you close your eyes. Off to dreamland you go. Continuing to dream about and envision your most epic life. So slowly coming back to it. Thank you for doing this little meditation visualization with me. Anything that came up, write it down. Anything that any sort of visions that came to you, any people that you wanted in your life, any relationships that you want to cultivate, write it down, say it out loud, right? And start making it a reality. And with that, how is what you can do right now? So showing up for yourself right in this moment, actively working towards this visualization and this dream life that you have. And with that, that's pretty much all of the information from the training that I have for you. And I just want to let you all know that I am a holistic health coach and I'm a mindset mentor. And my spirituality, I'm a spirit guide. So more than anything, that is a guide to your own self, your spirit, right? Your spiritual self. So I just am here to let you all know that I'm offering special prices on all my programs right now, my one-on-one coaching. So it's 4 months and it is 2 one-on-one sessions per month. They are 50 minutes, and along that you'll get a bunch of other bonuses. I've put a link on my Facebook, and you can just click on, if you're watching on Instagram, you can click on the Instagram link in my bio and head over there for more information. Act soon because these prices are not lasting long, trust me. I'm so excited to be here with you and to show up. And thank you all so much for showing up for me. This has been such an incredible 3 days, and it was really challenging for me to get here and to do this. And so I just thank you from the deepest part of my heart for allowing me the space to do this beautiful training. And there will be more, so stay tuned and we will be talking soon. Have a beautiful New Year's, and again, write your dreams down, start showing up. You are at the perfect, most epic moment in time. No time like the present, and especially now closing 2018 and heading into 2019. So I'm doing it too. Let me know if there's any way I can support you, and I want to be here for you so much. So I love you. I love you to the moon and back. You mean the world to me, and I love you. I love you. Have a beautiful New Year's, and we'll be talking soon. Bye.